Hello guys, welcome to Physics Development. I'm Dr. Santhosh Patil, your faculty for medicine. And today I have an opportunity to interview the toppers from the recently concluded NEET PG exam, Dr. Prajwal. Dr. Prajwal, welcome to this interview session. Students, let me introduce you to Dr. Prajwal. Dr. Prajwal is from my city, that is Nama Bengaluru, and he has got an incredible rank of 551 in the recently concluded NEET PG exam. Prajwal, first of all, congratulations for this great achievement from the MEDED as well as the entire student following of the MEDED. And then let us hear from you about your journey and the story of your preparation for NEET PG.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. I don't have any words. Really.
Okay, so how do you feel today?
It's an amazing feeling, sir.
Okay, so Prajwal, I understand that preparing for any exam as such is a very difficult, grueling task. And especially when it comes to medical exams, even the final prof exam itself is extremely stressful. And then NEET PG, where you're competing against a lakh plus students, obviously it would bring stress. So how did you plan your preparation? How did you handle your stress?
So I gave my NEET PG 2023 just as an intern. I didn't study much. So I just went to another city and I gave the exam. I was not expecting anything as such. And when the results came out, I had a rank of 1.07 lakh. So I was completely devastated because all my friends were around 50, 60,000 and I was way back. I didn't know anything. So then I thought to myself, I had the next INICT coming up. So I thought, okay, maybe I'll study a little and see how it goes. And then my INICT in a span of 1 month in the May session was a little better. So I got around 18.5K and I qualified. That was my aim at that point of time to qualify at first. So I was really happy and I was boosted with a lot of confidence. Okay, then I decided, okay, it's time. I thought I could crack the exam because jumping from 1 lakh to 18.5 was like a big deal for me. So I decided, okay, let's do something. Then I just focused a lot on INA and did my first and second year properly, at least in a good depth. And then I moved on to the clinical subjects. And after a halfway, I realized that time was the factor that I had to consider because I was not really looking for NEET PG. I was aiming to get in through November. I had this clear in my mind. Ki November INICT, I have to get in no matter what. So I did the content as fast as I could and just the PYQs. And because I was doing the PYQs the first time, I was learning as well how to solve the questions and everything. And then as INICT happened, I got a rank of around 1300 and I had my category. So I took up my dream branch at that point of time, which was general surgery, and I got into JIPMER. So yeah, that is one big step there. And I started my post-graduation there in JIPMER. I worked there for around a month. And there were a lot of reasons I didn't see myself like that and I couldn't handle the stress. And it was the first time I was in a new city, out from home. I always did my MBBS too from home. It's very near to my home. So it was a big thing, especially handling surgery residency, that too at an institute like JIPMER, with a new language, Tamil. It was a very dark experience for me. So then I decided, okay, because again, I had INICT and NEET lined up back to back. So I thought as the exams postponed from Jan to March, so I thought, okay, let me take a drop and, I'll again have an INI or a NEET as a backup thing. And then I started again. And there, it was a 4-month break for me from studying because uh, I didn't touch my books back in those 4 months,
In the
thinking
residency.
about counseling, residency, all those things. And after 4 months, it was very, very, very tough to start. But I did take that choice on my own. So I did start again. It was very tough. And then uh, I was a little overconfident, maybe when May session came. I didn't do much well. So then it was bad. Then I had to get myself back amongst those all anxiety, self-doubt, pressure, and everything with losing my confidence. I had a lot of regrets about my decisions in life, that of leaving a seat, that to a central institute seat, which a lot of people do dream of, leaving that seat and not making up well. It was a tough journey, but then again the need got postponed. I somehow picked myself up after INICT, and then when it was I was okayish, I was ready almost to give NEET PG, and it got postponed. So again to restart was nightmare. But when I decided, no, I've been doing content a lot more times. So there I decided, okay, my PYQ bias and all those things need not come. So I'll just focus a lot more on questions. So I started solving a lot of questions. I had already done content along like twice or thrice. So I decided, even in the last 10 or 20 days, as in the last revision where we usually do it in 10 days, I'll take up an extra 5 to 10 days, give that extra buffer day, around 20 days, and do it in the end. Because content I can manage, but the MCQ solving skills I need to develop, because the competition increased drastically from November to May. I saw that myself. So MCQ solving skills is what I focus entirely on. And then I gave my exam, PG 2024. I had an evening session. It was really, really bad. I felt it was the toughest exam I've ever given in my life. And I came out and I said that, and I was really, really sad that what have I done? And even in the exam hall, I regretted my decision. I even remembered a lot about my Jipmer and all those things. But in the end, in the hall, one thing that helped was, this time I just looked at the questions and tried to, like pick out the best possible answer amongst them. And I think that paid off.
Good, good. See, Prajwal, your story has many learning points for our students. Number one, from the rank of 1,07,000 to 551, that's an incredible journey. And that goes on to tell every student that it is possible. No matter where you stand today, you can definitely reach where you want to, provided you're ready to put that effort that it calls for. Number two, the happiness that we get for being a doctor is somewhere related to what inside being a doctor, what we want to do. And it is somewhere tied to the branch. Many times students ask me, sir, I'm getting MD in this branch and DNB in the other branch, but this is my preferred subject. What should I do? These are kind of common questions as a teacher we face. So I personally have gone through what exactly you've gone through. I also pivoted from doing anesthesia in a central institute and then coming out and doing medicine again. So I can relate to what you would have gone through doing surgery and then coming out and again taking a chance to get into your dream branch. So students, ultimately what you want matters more than where life takes you, because you can always put extra efforts to pivot and come to the point where you wanted to reach. So that's an incredible journey, Prajwal, and hopefully that will motivate many students, because a lot of students this time are quite perplexed, like, okay, I'm getting a rank of 80,000, 90,000, 1 lakh, and I want a clinical branch, I want medicine, or I want surgery. Will it be possible next time? So Prajwal is a live example in front of all of your students, because it is possible. He has done it and shown, and I think you would have come across many more such stories where students have made a transition from 1 lakh odd to within 1,000, within 100. So it is possible. Now, Prajwal, what I want to know from you is, how did you manage your time? Because see, now you have convinced all my followers that it is possible to jump from 1 lakh to 100,000. But they also want to know, how can we do it? So they'll need a little bit of guidance. So like, how did you manage your time, and how did you split your time between the first, second year subjects and the clinical subjects?
Uh, Sir, it depends. I feel it depends a lot on how the person has done in their MBBS time. If they have done very well, I think they can go for a lot crisp notes, very short revisions, and all that thing. But I was a student who didn't read standard books. I just wanted to pass in my MBBS time. So for a guy like me, what I thought was a few subjects I am a little decent. So I decided to take uh, kind of a less hours videos or revision videos for those things. But for subjects like where I didn't know anything, where my basics were very bad, so I went to main videos for certain things and then to revision videos. For example, I was very strong in anatomy, so I just did revision videos, nothing much. And for subjects like physiology, I had read it only in my first year, so I just sat and listened to all the main videos, tried to build my concepts and my knowledge back. And then I came back to the revision videos because I knew if I did just revision videos, I wouldn't have the knowledge to, go back. So I just did the main videos and then I came back here. It was too much, but for when you haven't read a lot of uh, good books, I think you need to give that time for yourself to have that basics a lot good. So that is what I did for first and second year. But in final year, I went for just crisp notes, very short notes, because there I understood that in first and second year, it is basically the things won't change much. It is dependent a lot on facts, so it won't change. So you have to know it. But when it comes to clinical subjects, I felt um, there are a lot of things outside book that can be tested. For that, even with a little knowledge, when you do a lot more questions, you can cope up, you can manage, you can eliminate. And then that is what I believed and I tried it out myself. So when I tried it and I got results, then I felt, okay, this is working for me. And then I went through with it. So that is how I organize my study plan.
Okay, so one question I have. See, those who are starting to prepare during their internship or post internship, for them, the path is kind of sorted in the sense, okay, you have limited time. If you're aiming for writing the very next NEET PG exam during your internship or just post internship, you have limited time. Probably, as you said, even I would personally vouch and say that spend more time on your basics, the first year and second year subjects. That becomes a bedrock. On top of it, you can easily build your clinical subjects, even with little lesser effort. And hopefully, you should be able to get a decent enough rank. Until and unless you're aiming for a rank within 10 or within 20, you don't need to pay too much attention to every detail in clinical subjects. But what about those who want to start early? Those who want to start in the second year or third year itself, aiming for the NEET PG exam. For them, like as a student, what is the mindset? Like, is it still skipping medicine or reducing the importance given to clinical subjects is the way to go? Or for them, it is more logical that you do your final year subjects as well with the same amount of seriousness and sincerity that a student gives for first year and second year subjects.
Um, I think if a person were to start in second year, third year, I would say do second year subjects well. Do read the standard books. I have faced a lot of difficulty when I came, when I started my PG preparation. And a lot of people who had read standard books, it makes a huge, huge difference reading standard books. So when you have the time, and if you really want to get there and you're starting very early in second year, I would really recommend to, take up good books, read standard books. Don't read final year subjects and everything in like that would be my opinion. That's all. Second year is again a little tricky to handle. So second year, try to manage and do as much second year in detail from standard books as much as possible. Third year, the same way. Third year, I think, is a little okay. There you can start your medicine, surgery, a little of OBG and everything. But I think second year, I would just recommend do second year, just second year. Third year, you can start a little bit of medicine and surgery and obs gynae. And final year is where a lot of people find it really, really hard. And if you can manage to read standard books and do that, well and good. But if not, I would say at least um, try to get the maximum by at least watching the videos, the main videos in final year. Because reading standard books, I think a lot of people, even who are doing medicine, that is what I've heard, reading Harrison and other books, they do that in their PG. So for undergrad in their final year, it is not possible for a guy like me. But if it is possible, you go ahead. There's no problem in that. But I would recommend you to watch videos in fourth year. And then once you get down to your preparation, then in your internship, then you can focus a lot more on MCQ solving. Then a rapid revision will help you a lot. Just watching rapid revision, doing a lot more questions, that will get you a lot closer. And a month or so before the exam, if you are really confident enough, you can take 1 month or 1.5 months off and then properly focus, and you can get it.
Like one of the common questions that we get as teachers, and I have also faced a similar dilemmas when I entered into my final MBBS, is that there are standard books, and by default, Harrison has become the gold standard for medicine, and then Love and Bailey for surgery. Those are vast, and just one look scares the shit out of us, and we know that we will not be able to complete. No matter how brilliant you are, obviously the time does not allow you to complete it, even if you have the wish for it. So for a student, there are two choices. One is that there are question and answer type of books, which are famous among the students, which will easily help you to sail through final prof exam. Second, there are mid-tier books, like for example, medicine, there is Davidson, which is positioned below Harrison, but definitely above the question and answer format books. Somewhat doable books they are. So what is the student mindset nowadays? Like what did you do? Like you also followed the standard question and answer format books, or you spent time with Davidson or something like that?
No, sir. I actually took up Davidson.
Okay.
Actually took Davidson, and I thought of reading it. I think I read one or two the respiratory system and some other system, and it was too good, too understanding. I loved the thing, but I didn't know how to write it in my exams. So I felt it was difficult. So then I switched to okay, and it was taking a lot of time for me. Studying Davidson was again a very difficult task. So I dropped Davidson, and then I took the book which you are telling, the question and answer type of books, and I read that, and I just tried to pass in the end.
Okay. So the reason I ask this question is many times students, especially interns, tell me that, sir, I have not read Harrison so far. I have not even read Davidson. So ab mera kya hoga? How will I be able to deal with medicine? Or how will I be able to deal with surgery? So Prajwal is an example. No matter where you start, if you're ready to put that extra effort that is required, you can reach your dream rank or your dream destination. You're not done your standard preparation from the standard textbooks, still fine. Whatever time you have, choose the best resources and dedicatedly prepare with that. Hopefully, you should be able to reach your dream ranks. Okay. So the last point that I would bring into the discussion, having given this exam, how important it was to spend time on the previous year questions and previous year topics. Like, is it still a relevant strategy, or it is like no more important?
It is important, but especially this year, I didn't feel that it was very important. It is again important, the topics, the questions. I myself did them around 2 to 3 times, the past year questions and past year topics. But I feel more than that, try and solve more questions which are not previous year questions. such that even if you don't know what they're asking and you're trying to eliminate, or you're trying to, you will know more. Even if you don't know, that is what happens in the exam, because exam is where a lot of questions will be asked, which you don't know, which you might not have heard of. Especially in this NEET PG, there were a lot of things I haven't heard of, but trying to, figure out answer from it is what is the main important thing. So I think if you learn that, PYQs will also, you'll also do PYQs. You'll also be able to do PYQs. But I feel PYQs se base bana lo, then you can extend it forward.
Because there were times in the past where we used to say that if you do PYQs and the previous topics, a decent rank is kind of assured. Like you can easily make it within 10,000 or maybe 15,000. And when you want to have a much better rank, then you need to build from that. But thoda sa scene change hua hai nowadays, because just previous year questions is definitely not enough to get within 10K, because nowadays the horizon is expanded and they're asking questions beyond the topics that are standardly tested. But कुछ ना कुछ questions तो standardly tested topics में हमेशा होते हैं. So obviously we should not miss them. So as you said, I would also strongly recommend that make a base from the PYQs and build it up according to the time available to you. So that by the time you go to the exam, you have a wider horizon, and all the previous questions you should be able to answer. All the questions from previous topics you should be able to answer. Now, because you have a wider horizon, उसके related कुछ भी इधर उधर का आ जाता है, you should be able to deal with it because you know the basics. Okay. So now the last thing. So what's your plan now for the career?
Sir, I I did end up having a lot of change of options, so I am really really confused. But um, so I want to try it out. I want to go work under radiologist, or shadow him for a while, and then see if that suits me or not, or go to a medicine clinic where I will shadow him for a while, and then decide for myself what will work, what won't work. Then I think that is how I think I will take a call this time.
That's a good move, because many times, until and unless we have a first-hand experience of how it feels like being a resident in a department, you may not know how the life is with that particular specialty. I think that's a good move, and medicine and radiology are definitely good and evergreen subjects. So, students, that's our interview with Prajwal. And as I understand, many of you, like most of our audience, are from first year and second year, and they want to understand how to make best use of their time in the second year to prepare to be able to get a good rank in the NEET PG. I think our interview with Prajwal has given you the essence. First year and second year are about consolidating your understanding of the basic subjects. All clinical subjects derive upon your concepts that you learn in the basic subjects. So if you're good with your anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, pathology, pharmacology, microbiology, you will start being a good student for medicine, surgery, OBG, orthopedics, pediatrics, everything. Because what is medicine? Medicine is not a subject according to me. Medicine is identifying the deviations from physiology, and that is what we call as pathology. Taking help of laboratory investigations to diagnose the deviations in physiology. And that is where microbiology, biochemistry comes in our rescue. And after that, how do we manage? In medicine, mostly we manage with drugs, which is nothing but pharmacology. So there's nothing specific or new thing that you will be learning in medicine. You're just putting all that you've studied from first MBBS to your second MBBS together in the subject called medicine, and kind of that applies to many other clinical subjects also. So make sure you study well your first year and second year subjects. And if you're in second year, try to go ahead with the standard textbooks, because the language of the exams is the language that you find in the standard textbooks. As a teacher, I can simplify it for you so that you understand and grasp the concepts. But the kind of words, the kind of sentence framing happens, they're mostly derived from the standard textbooks. So learning standard textbooks is always very, very important. And that is what I would emphasize. Prajwal, you have anything to suggest to our students? Prajwal, do you have anything to suggest to our students?
Nothing, sir. I would just say that enjoy your MBBS time, because once you finish your internship, it's really hard. So when you get the time, enjoy as much as you can, because I think I just peeked into a PG life and I came back. So it's tough. So have a good time in your MBBS, and try managing and studying as much as you can.
Absolutely. So MBBS is the best time of your life. You're not going to get this time again once you step into internship. The time is over. It cannot be reversed back. So enjoy your life as hard as possible. Similarly, study as hard as possible. That's the take-home message. Prajwal, congratulations, and also thank you for connecting and also giving an inspiration to the next generation of students and being a de facto mentor for them. The PW Meded and its entire student team congratulates you once again. And students, if you have any queries related to studies, or if you want to hear anything from Prajwal, you can shoot it to me on the Telegram group, and I will definitely communicate with Prajwal. And if he has anything to share with you, I'll get back to you on that. And if you have any queries related to the subjects, obviously the faculty are available to you on the Telegram group. With that, we are signing off the interview. See you soon with another topper story soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prajwal. Bye bye.